Alright.
Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. I am your host, Tony. I am joined today by my co-host, Mr. Awesome, and a very special guest. Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. I am your host, of course, Tony, and with me today is Buster Boy. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. I'm down broken monitor over here, by the way. So if you see me looking this way, I'm watching my TV so I can see what's going on here. I broke my monitor. I'm a clumsy ass.
It happens.
Put my thumb right through the damn thing too, man. That's crazy.
Right? Today we are here for Money in the Bank premium live event prediction show. Money in the Bank goes live, the pre-show, kickoff show, if you will, less than 2 hours at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And the main show goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Unless boys are already sleeping.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was too busy watching GTS wrestling because of MJF. What? Sorry.
Well then. That's one way to put it.
I'll be watching Grimm and MJF. Sorry. Wrong show?
Yes. MJF and Grimm's Toy Show, though?
Yeah, he was. He's an original. He was there in 2016. And he came back recently, actually.
So he's actually doing something. Okay.
Yep, he's in there with Grimm, helping him out. Yep.
That's interesting to know.
It's crazy because I got my first notification for like eons, and I've been subscribed to Grimm for years, and he was like one of the first wrestling shows aside from VTW that I subscribed to. And now, next thing I know, I just see MJF like right there in GTS wrestling. I'm like, what? Hold on, what?
Right. That is unusual. Yeah. All right. I guess it's good to know that he's doing something. I mean, we haven't seen MJF on AEW programming since his pipe bomb, if you will.
Yeah. Legendary, by the way.
Yeah. I've seen on Twitter where Jesse the Buckeye has posted a comparison side by side of the CM Punk pipe bomb and MJF's. It's pretty interesting to read the two.
Yeah,
that's AEW.
Yeah, Meltzer wasn't happy about it though, but I mean, let's be honest. Meltzer's never happy about anything unless it's Twinkle Toes Omega.
Yeah, that's pretty much it too.
Not my words. That's Jim Cornette's words, not mine.
Right. But again, that's AEW. That's different promotion. We're here for WWE today, so
Yep.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Little side note.
I promise I'll keep the tangents to a minimal.
Shut that. All right. So this is the first match we're going to talk about. You notice a little order here that I'll go through. First match it was originally supposed to be Rhea Ripley one-on-one with Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. However, Rhea Ripley went down with an injury, is not able to compete. There was a fatal five-way match, and Carmella won that. So it's Carmella one-on-one with Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship because we haven't seen this match in 9-10 months.
Well,
maybe a year.
First of all, it's the most beautiful woman in all of WWE, Carmella.
Okay.
Secondly, it's is going to be a sleeper match. Like, it's going to surprise people. A lot of people underestimate Carmella. A lot of people do. She's a good worker, when she gets the right story to tell. But I think this is going to surprise a lot of people. I think it's going to be a basic match, but I do not see Bianca Belair losing here. I look for her to retain it.
Right, and I agree. Carmella is really good in the ring. We've seen it before when she's put in certain situations. She can show out against anybody pretty much. But like you said, I don't see Bianca dropping the title here, not to Carmella at least. So I definitely think Bianca Belair is going to win in a hard-fought match. We've seen these two go at it before on SmackDown last year. Multiple times, Carmella came that close at times to taking the SmackDown Women's title from Bianca at that point. And I think it's going to be one of those situations again tonight. But unfortunately for Carmella, I don't see her gaining the red title and adding that to her championship accolades tonight. Somewhere down the line, maybe. But Corey's wife is not getting that gold around her waist tonight.
Yep.
We all know how Corey will be acting throughout that show, that match.
Goo goo gaga over her. Carmella is so beautiful, but we know you're married to her, okay? So shut up.
Right. Move on to that. Move on to the other women's title match. You got the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line, which, quite frankly, I'm surprised they're keeping this match on here, because what I had read at one point in time was that Roman was missing this event, and so was Ronda and Brock. But we're actually getting Natalya one-on-one with Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
To be honest, I hate face Ronda Rousey. I do. I hate this good girl Ronda Rousey. I do. She needs to go back to being the badass and exposing the business, just fucking going out there and beating the shit out of women. We know she can, but for now, I guess she's just gonna play ball for a while. So right. I don't see her losing this. Again, Natalya does deserve the women's title, but not against Ronda. Not right now. Not as hot as she is right now. She is, believe it, like it or not, whether you like her or you hate her, she's a draw. She's a lot bigger draw than Natalya. That's for damn sure.
Right.
And we know she pulls her punches in the ring. No shit. Because she's a legitimate badass and could literally kill someone.
Right.
If she doesn't pull punches, she could kill someone.
Exactly.
So, no shit. Of course, she looks stupid in the ring because everyone knows what she can really do. But the bottom line is, long answer short, I see no reason why Ronda should lose here. Keeping the belt on her is smart because she is a draw. So, there you go.
I agree with that. Fun little fact there. You mentioned Ronda being turning heel instead of being the face. What I have read over the last few days is the original plan for Ronda when she returned at the Royal Rumble was for her to be a heel. It was the reaction that the crowd gave her when she returned at the Royal Rumble that made Vince decide, oh, I changed my mind. You're going to be the babyface now in this storyline going forward because you got such a big pop at the Rumble. So for the babyface run you're seeing for Ronda Rousey, you get to blame the fans for that if you're not a huge fan of the babyface version of Ronda.
Yep. There you go, Marks. This happened because of you. Welcome, Marks.
But I understand where you're coming from. I mean, the badass version that you see from Ronda Rousey when she was a heel seems a little more appropriate for the baddest woman on the planet gimmick. I shouldn't say gimmick because it's not a gimmick. That is Ronda Rousey. So I can see why you prefer her more as the heel and the way she acts that way. I feel like if they want to keep her as baby, it would help if she had a mouthpiece, probably, because I think her promos were better as a heel. I don't know who you can give her to be a mouthpiece as a face, because you're not going to give her Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman's a heel himself. But
we'll give her LA Knight. You see what he's been doing with Massey and Mansoor.
Don't even get me started on that.
Trust me, when I saw that, I started. I went on a freaking tangent for like 10 minutes.
And then after the segment's over, Pat McAfee says, "Oh, the crowd ate it up. The crowd loved it." I'm like, dude, were you listening to the same stuff I was? Because it sounded like they were shitting all over that segment to me.
I mean, gosh. Well, he ain't no Sylvain Grenier, that's for sure. But,
right?
Man, we'll get there, I guess.
Or
and Mansoor.
Yeah.
Anywho, without getting too far away.
Or Max Dupri, or whatever you want to call him. Be so much. Oh my God. Vince just killing another person when he brings him up for him NXT. That's all I can say on that one.
You know that scene off of the Naked Gun when they all face palm him? That's what we're all doing to Vince right now.
Yeah, right.
That's a big ass face palm. That's a good night, Mansoor.
Let's hope if Stephanie's got any real pull here, that maybe she can right the ship for some individuals in WWE.
There better be some sort of big payoff, or I'm going to break I'm going to literally do like Peter Griffin on Family Guy when he was on the steps and go, "Oh, okay," and break my own neck.
Right. But anywho, like you said, this feud has kind of been lackluster until last week when these two got in the ring together and Natty was dressed up as Ronda and had the whole baby carriage. That was a very interesting segment, which Ronda Rousey actually asked to have that done. She wanted it done, which is kudos to her on that one because that was a good call in my opinion. But that kind of ramped up the feud a little bit. I mean, they haven't played off a whole lot that these two are former training partners, and Natty kind of brought Ronda into WWE, but I guess they played off that when they wrestled each other for the Raw Women's title back a couple of years ago. They still could have brought it up here too.
It would have been really cool to see, Ronda come out in like Jim Neidhart's gear.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
And say this: don't get too used to seeing this, and then just throw it in the trash can, and she'll have her Ronda Rousey gears because it's all about this or something like that.
Right.
Something to ramp it up even more.
Yeah. And who knows if this is a one and done match, but
kind of hoping it is, to be honest. Because
where do you go from Natty though?
Don't get me wrong, I like Natalya, but her feuds over the last 9 years had been very bad. Like since the whole farting gimmick, which we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, really.
It has not been good. At all.
Well, I mean, other than the feud with Naomi, where she actually won the SmackDown Women's title a couple of years ago.
I actually forgot about that. I genuinely forgot that she won the Women's title.
SummerSlam a few years back.
Oh, man. Has she really fell off the deep end that much? Holy crap. Yeah. We're forgetting her title runs. What in the world?
She was tag team champion earlier. Well, last year, this year, whatever it was.
I mean, people care more about the 24/7 title than the women's tag team belts.
Oh, Lord. Thank goodness they haven't been doing anything with the 24/7 title the last couple of weeks on Raw.
Gosh, please just retire the belt, please. Just leave it alone, please.
Right. I guess they've been using it on main event lately, the last couple of weeks instead.
Yeah, they're going to be a dick and bring it back on freaking Money in the Bank.
No, probably. We'll probably see it there. But anyway, either way, Agree with you on that. Ronda Rousey's picking up the win here, probably with the armbar, retaining the SmackDown Women's title. Moving on, maybe she'll have a new challenger. Maybe Charlotte gets a rematch because Charlotte's due to come back soon. Maybe somebody else gets a match against her. Who knows? Now, I don't know the order of the matches for the actual Money in the Bank event tonight. I'm just doing these by which way I prefer to talk about the matches. These matches could happen before or they could happen after the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. If they happen after, you could always see a cash in on either one of these two matches as well, or after. Seems how, except for, well, only two exceptions, the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match winner did go on to cash in and win the title the same night, other than last year and 2 years ago where Asuka won it and got the title from Becky the next night, handed to her. But nonetheless, looking at WWE, the woman who wins the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match will more than likely cash in either tonight or Monday night on Raw. Moving on, speaking of, next match we talk about is the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, lo and behold. And for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, we've seen the first two individuals who qualified were, of course, Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss, as they won a tag team match over Doudrop and Nikki ASH. We've seen Lacey Evans win her qualifying match. We've seen Asuka beat Becky, Shotzi beat Tamina, Raquel Gonzalez. I know I'm not doing this in order, but Raquel got her spot. And of course, Becky winning the last chance match this past Monday on Raw to get in.
All right. I know probably Becky is just there for the experience, but or maybe to progress her feud with Asuka a little bit more.
Probably.
But for some reason, I feel like Becky is going to win this one. I want Shotzi to win because I think she's going to be the dark horse of the match.
Oh.
For sure. Lacey is just there just to be there, I think. I don't really think they have a plan. She doesn't even have a gimmick yet.
Not really, no.
Kind of does, but she really doesn't. It's like, hey, everybody, I want you to feel for me. You know, I'm just like you. I'm a family woman just like you, but then you come back and you're still a heel. That makes no sense.
Right.
But like logically, I want to say that Becky's going to win that. But she could go without winning that. But it would make sense because last year Asuka won
2 years ago
for the women's title, and Becky was pregnant. So it would make sense for her to win it this time.
Yeah.
So, but if someone from Raw is taking this one, then somebody from SmackDown's taking the men's. But if it's going to go the way I think it's going to go, I'm thinking someone from SmackDown's taking the women. So I'm going to have to go with the underdog and say Shotzi. Even though every bone in my body wants to say Becky, I'm going to say Shotzi.
Okay. Huh. You know, I kind of want to say Becky as well, but Asuka's there, and after the manhandle slam on SmackDown, I can just see Asuka still somehow managing to stop Becky from winning it. I know the crowd favorite in this match is Liv Morgan, of course. Everybody wants to see Liv win the match. I don't see that happening, though. I don't.
These Money in the Bank matches are really hard to call, though.
They are. Who knows if this is the full field, though, too, because, I mean, yes, they say this is it, but there's been surprises in the past in Money in the Bank ladder matches.
Yeah, we're going to have Brock Lesnar come in and take the women's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm just...
We'll have James Ellsworth come back and win it again. So there you go. Oh, no.
Oh, this is tough. So I'll give 2 picks here. A dark horse if she ends up being in the match. It's tough because I had 2 people I thought could have returned for this match and possibly win it if they did. So I'll give those 2 for my dark horse pick, and then I'll say my actual pick if it's one of these 7. So I got either Charlotte or Bayley returning and winning the match if it's a dark horse, if somebody does come back in. If it's one of these 7 women, then even though I think Asuka might play a field into it, I just got to go with Becky. It's, like you mentioned, kind of a turnaround, so as to speak, or a come around, if you will, from 2 years ago, having Asuka win getting the title handed to her. And then this would mark Becky's winning that. Becky could go out and cash in on Bianca. We get another match between her and Bianca at some point afterwards, which would be another banger because they had a great match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, this time they actually got to do it.
Right. So my pick out of the 7 is Becky Lynch because I don't see any way. I don't see who else is actual Money in the Bank material, so as to speak, worthy of the briefcase, because none of these other 6 women have really been pushed the way that you would want to see the person that wins the ladder match get pushed. I mean, last year we seen the push for Big E going into the match. A lot of people picked Big E to win the match. Big E won the match for the men's. So nobody's seen Nikki ASH winning the women's, however, last year, but she did. So you never know. You just never know.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, they do something with the Money in the Bank this year. They haven't done anything with the Money in the Bank in general since.
Per se.
They haven't done it since. They haven't really done anything with the Money in the Bank since probably aside from Big E. Even when Otis won it, they didn't do anything with it. That was a huge. They dropped the ball bad with Otis because he could have really went somewhere with that. But hopefully they do something good with this one.
Nikki cashed in on Charlotte and won it the next night. So
yeah, but her run was kind of underwhelming.
It was very much so.
It's not so much just the money, what you do with the Money in the Bank briefcase, but it's also what you do after when you cash in too. That matters too. I count it all as like the same. Like Nikki ASH really could have it kind of just seemed like it just happened out of nowhere.
It did.
Like a last minute decision, and it kind of took it away. And I understand why a lot of people rejected it, because it kind of, again, it just came out of nowhere. It was just a cash in randomly for no reason, just to say, hey, everybody, here's your feel-good moment. And then it was just a moment.
Right.
And they didn't do nothing with it. But once again, they completely fucked up with Otis. I was so pissed about that. I was absolutely angered about that.
I still don't think Otis was the right person to have win the Money in the Bank ladder match 2 years ago.
If they did the right I feel like if they weren't doing all that shit that they were doing with him, with Mandy Rose and stuff like that,
right?
I feel like they could, if they took him a little bit more serious, like they're kind of doing now.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of the serious one of the group, and like Chad Gable's just Chad Gable.
Yeah, right. Chad being Chad.
Sheesh.
Juice, please.
Good Lord. But I feel like if this Otis was one to win in the Money in the Bank, then it could have went somewhere. But.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But with the Otis that we had at the time, there was so many other guys that could have won that match and been more believable.
Anybody, but if you had no definitive plan for him, what's the point having in the Money in the Bank?
Right. Anywho's it. We'll get back into more talking about Money in the Bank ladder matches and briefcases in a bit. The next match we're going to go over, though, the almighty Bobby Lashley one-on-one with the youngest United States champion of all time, Theory, for the United States Championship.
Actually, I'm looking forward to this match the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's surprising because the winner of this one is most likely going to go face Cena at SummerSlam.
If Cena actually wrestles at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think he's going to. I don't see why he wouldn't, unless he's got.
I've seen some rumors that he might be held off until WrestleMania. So
yeah, so if he does, if I think this is going to be a big test for Theory. Smart money would put their money on Lashley because there's no way in hell that Theory is going to win. But I have a feeling that's not the case. I have a feeling it's going to look like he's going to dominate, and then either Omos and MVP are going to get involved and screw him out of the belt, and somehow Theory is going to win. I think somehow Theory is going to beat Lashley. It's not going to be clean. It's going to be some dirty tactics for sure, but he's going to beat him, I think.
Okay. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Their rivalry's been one of the better ones, I think, leading up to this event. Not saying that I enjoyed the whole pose down they did a couple weeks ago on Raw, but
yeah, that was the worst one since Scott Steiner and Triple H.
I mean, why even decide to close a show with that segment, though? That's what baffles me the most. Put it on in the middle of the show or some other point in the show, not ending the show with it.
Like, that could be an opener. That's a time waster right there. That could be an opener.
But anyway, it should be a good match between these two. I'm going to disagree with you, though, here. I don't think that Theory's losing the United States Championship. However, I think Bobby Lashley is going to win by either disqualification or countout in this match. When I see Lashley getting the win, they're keeping his push going. They want to keep Theory's minor push going, especially if there's going to be Theory and Cena at SummerSlam, like was rumored at one point in time. I don't see Theory dropping the U.S. title here.
Especially after what happened on Raw.
Right.
With those two. You can't have that kind of build like that. That has a planting the seed for it. After those two, basically, after he came in and just started just going off on him for being a cocky little bastard.
But Cena kind of planted seeds for two feuds on Raw Monday night, so at least two feuds. I mean, he also planted seeds for a team up with somebody else too. That's it. We'll get into the other person later. Cena in Theory, I think, would be a fun match to watch. I think a lot of people would prefer John to face people instead of Theory, who's still a young up-and-comer. But Theory could use a match.
And then all the people would be like, of course, dragging all the young talent down when you're not even working here, of course.
Right.
And that's not even the case.
Right. They'd be giving Theory a rub, so as to speak, to put him in the ring with Cena, in my opinion. But yeah, I would pick Theory to win this match through nefarious means, like you said, but I just feel like they're gonna have Lashley pick up the win. Just won't be 1, 2, 3 or a tap out. It's gonna be right.
He's gonna look good though. He's gonna look very good in this match.
Yes, of course, because like I said, right now Bobby Lashley is the top babyface on Raw. With Cody Rhodes down, there is no other. It's Bobby Lashley. You could make a case for AJ Styles, but AJ hasn't been used to his potential over the last couple months. So
don't even get me started on AJ Styles right now. I'm gonna be quiet about that.
Yeah, AJ definitely. They need to do more with him than what they have been doing. I don't like.
Why is it during the last couple of years when he was in Impact Wrestling, he was getting treated better than he is right now? What is going on?
I don't know about that much. But
I would much rather just go back to watching him do that stupid baby line with Karen Jarrett than deal with this shit that he's doing right now. Why are you losing to literally everyone?
Hey, he beat Ciampa a couple weeks ago and beat Miz recently. So
Don't even get me started on that. I'm gonna be quiet.
yeah, well, we're gonna get started on Miz here in a little bit. But
Yeah. I made a promise, and I'm gonna stick with it. So
hey, it's just the two of us. I don't care.
yeah, I'm not gonna go on a 20-hour tangent.
Okay, no 20 hours. Yeah, we don't want none of that. But anyway, next match, you got the Street Profits versus the Usos for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. These guys have put on some really good singles matches over the last few weeks on Raw, and I really enjoyed their promo last night on SmackDown. That was one of the best parts of SmackDown, in my opinion. These two teams are going to put out all the stops and go balls to the wall.
Yeah,
So
they are.
So,
but look, all right, look. This is gonna sound like I'm ragging on the Usos, but I want to go on the record to state I love the Usos. I do. I absolutely love the Usos.
Right.
They are my absolute favorite modern day tag team. And I'll be the first to tell you that. I'll pick those over any team any day. For real. The Usos can do it all. They're probably one of the most versatile teams there is out there. But this feud right here, this has not over written all over it. Because this is not done. And if they're going to do what I think they're going to do with the Street Profits, it's stupid. It's absolutely dumb. And if you saw Raw what I saw, then you'll know what I mean when I said that's stupid. It makes no sense to break them up. If they're planting that seed for them trying to break it up, first of all, there's not really a reason to break them up. Like, what reason do you have? Because we lost too many tag team matches? It's a tag team match. Look at the Usos. When they were a babyface before they repackaged themselves, they lost like every match. It just doesn't make sense to split the Street Profits up.
I agree with you. I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk about Montez Ford being the next big thing in WWE, but yes, you want to build stars right now. Yes, they need a lot more baby faces, especially for the injuries that we've had in WWE, but you can't justify that being a good reason to break up the Street Profits right now when the tag team division is on life support, really.
All right. Here's another controversial one. I think through their eyes, they're seeing Crime Time.
Possibly.
They think Montez is the fucking Shad of the group. And Angelo's the JTG of the group. And that's absolutely stupid. I don't see Shad when I look at Montez Ford. I see Montez Ford. And I don't see JTG when I look at Angelo. I see Angelo Dawkins.
Right.
Those two are probably the most entertaining tag teams that I've seen in a while. But at the end of the day, if they're going to plant that seed, they're going to keep planting that seed to split those two up. So I think because of that, because of what I saw on Monday, I think the Usos are going to retain.
Nice.
As much as I want to see the Street Profits walk away with the win, the Usos can afford the loss. Right now, the Usos are carrying the tag team division right now. I see no reason for them to lose here. So I look to the Usos retaining. They're going to get a clean win. It's going to be clean. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a crazy match. But at the end, I think it's going to be Dawkins getting the pin. He's going to be eating the pin.
Nice. Yeah, when this match was first made, I wanted the Street Profits to win so badly. I wanted to pick the Street Profits more so than the Usos here. The Street Profits have gotten the better of the Usos in 2 out of the 3 singles matches over the last couple weeks on Raw. That generally means the heel team is going to go over at the Premium Live event, if you will. So, again, it's going to be a banger of a match, just like the Usos always have with just about every tag team nowadays. This is only like the second or third time these two teams have faced each other, for that matter, by the way, which is very surprising, but yet nice as well, because you don't get that too often anymore. But yeah, when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, I feel like we'll still be saying, we the ones. Usos got to be picking up the win here and keeping all the gold in the bloodline, at least for another 3-4 weeks anyway.
Yeah. Because we the ones.
Not that anybody can see us doing that, but yeah. That's where I should have done that. Oh.
We the ones.
Yes. All right. That brings us... Oops, wrong button.
We're supposed to be a professional here.
Who? Me? No. All right. The main event. I'm assuming which will be the actual main event of the show, because I don't see how you can put any of the other matches on last. But you never know with WWE. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Quite the group we got here. So, first person that technically qualified, of course, was Seth freaking Rollins beating AJ Styles. Sheamus and Drew had to go through some hurdles to get into this match. The Giant Omos wins his qualifying match. Sami Zayn won his qualifying match over Shinsuke Nakamura, which I absolutely hated. But that's me. And then Riddle wins the what shouldn't have been called, but was called, Last Chance Battle Royal on Raw to enter this. And then, of course, last night, Madcap Moss wins the Fatal 4-Way match to earn his spot to become the final member of the Men Money in the Bank ladder match.
All right. I'm going to break it down real quick. I don't think Moss is winning it. He's in the storyline right now with Corbin, so he ain't winning it. That's for sure. They're not really doing anything with Sami Zayn, so why start now? So
Sure, yeah, he's an honorary Uso. And if he wins it, he's not going to cash in on Roman Reigns as long as Roman's the champion.
yeah,
That's what he says.
I just don't think they're really doing anything with him right now. So Seth Rollins could win it. And even though, like I mentioned before, someone on SmackDown already won it, so that would leave me 2 picks for Raw, either Riddle or Seth. But I think they're going to swerve everybody. I think 1 or 2 people are going to win it. I think Drew McIntyre is going to win it, or Seth. I got to go with Seth on this one, and I got to go because there's no way they're going to have Becky and Seth have both the Money in the Banks. That'd be too cliche.
It might be, but it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, if it happens, I'm like, wow, Triple H and Stephanie much?
Right.
Good Lord. But who knows? I mean, I would be okay with that, but realistically, I think it's either going to be Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre. Because right now, they're not really doing anything with Sammy. Moss is in a storyline. Omos is just a big man that's just in here just to do damage. He's not going to win it, though.
Right.
He's just in there just to be in there to do damage. So that's usually the reason why they put the big men in there. And to no-sell everything. So, because he can't sell for shit. Just saying. Can't sell, man.
So I mentioned that's going to bring him up. I got to bring up The Miz. How many chances did he even get to be in this match? I mean, he was part of that Last Chance Battle Royal, and then all of a sudden pops up on SmackDown last night and ends up in the Fatal 4-Way match to try and get involved in it. But kudos to Miz. He did talk up Money in the Bank ladder match the whole month leading up to Money in the Bank. But unfortunately for The Miz, he's on the outside looking in because he wasn't able to win that Fatal 4-Way match.
Yeah. This is actually the first Money in the Bank. Isn't this the first Money in the Bank ladder match since he qualified that he didn't actually qualify?
It might be. I'm not positive.
I just tongue-tied myself, confused myself on that one. But let's see, he's qualified for like what? 3 of them? 4 of them or something like that? Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
But yeah, I that's me. I think it's either gonna go to Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins.
Yeah. So here's my thinking. Like you mentioned, Madcap Moss. His feud with Happy Corbin's over because Happy's moving on to Pat McAfee for SummerSlam. But he's not doing anything really. So other than he just won this Fatal 4-Way match randomly. Whoop-de-doo. He's not winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. Sami Zayn, yes, he claims if he wins the Money in the Bank, he's not going to cash in on Roman Reigns, which you could play off of, and Sami could actually eventually cash in, potentially lose. But I don't see that happening. Sheamus, he's just a big brute that's in here just to fill a spot, pretty much, because there's no way they're having Sheamus win Money in the Bank again. Not with the way he's been booked with this 6-man tag stuff for the most part with Ridge Holland and Butch. Omos, like you said, he's just a big guy in there to cause a lot of destruction and damage. Even though he supposedly can reach the briefcase without even climbing a ladder. Who knows? He might do the Big Show spot here and bring in a heavy-duty ladder at some point to climb. He's not winning, though, either. Because I don't see them giving Omos, who's only, 2 years into the business, the briefcase here. I don't feel like...
Time for him to no-sell every ladder shot.
Yeah, he might.
Just stand there. What are you doing?
So that brings me down to 3 potential winners. I could see a case for any of those 3 men. But Riddle just had his title shot against Roman on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. I don't see them giving the briefcase to Riddle and having him go on to cash in at any point, because that'd be pointless, in my opinion. Now, Seth freaking Rollins is a good point to bring up, though, here. Seth also has the guy that he injured in the back of his mind, I'm sure, a little bit here, in Cody Rhodes. Cody brought up a good point last Monday night on Raw when that pre-taped video interview they did. Seth could win Money in the Bank here. Seth could potentially go on and cash in again, kind of like he did before at WrestleMania. Not necessarily saying he won a triple threat match again, but if Seth is the undisputed WWE World Champion, I mean, it could set up a potential Seth Rollins-Cody Rhodes rematch, maybe even at WrestleMania next year for the title.
And Seth Rollins technically never got a rematch against Roman.
True, and he did beat Roman at Royal Rumble this year by disqualification, but he did beat him. So
he got in his head. He got him to break. Brought up the old Shield stuff.
Seth has Roman's number because Roman has never defeated Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match. So there's that. But also, if Seth freaking Rollins wins it, he could try to cash in, and like he did at WrestleMania a few years back, and could also potentially lose that cash in. So
I'm hoping if he wins, I hope he cashes in on Brock and Roman at SummerSlam, because I really don't want to see that crappy friggin' Roman and Brock shit over and over again every year. But I'm not going to even go on. I'm not even going to go on a tangent about that. I'm going to leave that alone.
But there's a reason I got this man's shirt on. You can kind of sort of see. I think we're going to Claymore Country tonight. The end of the night will end with the Celtic Warrior The Scottish Warrior, sorry, not the Celtic Warrior. My bad. Celtic Warrior is looking up in the sky. Oh. The Scottish Warrior with his hand raised, with the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand. However, they keep him and Sheamus, and even Seth have brought it up. They mentioned how SummerSlam would be a great time to cash in from that last man standing match. But Drew McIntyre wins Money in the Bank contract. I mean, the baby faces don't always do things that way. I could easily see with what Premium Live event is after SummerSlam. That'd be Clash at the Castle.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre decides he's cashing in at Clash at the Castle, giving Roman Reigns a little bit of time to stew it over and know ahead of time possibly what's going to happen. But that way Drew's getting his big hometown crowd behind him. Why not have him cash in there instead of at SummerSlam?
Maybe Sheamus challenges Roman and then Drew McIntyre cashes in after.
Yeah, that could be.
Castle.
WWE is still wanting to give Drew McIntyre a big moment in front of the crowd after he carried WWE throughout the pandemic era. So, what better way than to have him get a big win in his home country?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're Mr. Money in the Bank, what better place to cash in than there? It's my opinion. That's what my thinking is, anyway. But yeah, I got Drew McIntyre winning anyway. I could see Seth winning otherwise, but I think Drew's the one that's going to get it here. I don't think they really want to go with somebody being a two-time Money in the Bank ladder match winner. Hey, it's us. So, I'll make that better. There we go.
Trying to pull a Seinfeld here, getting close to people now.
Maybe. Anyway, there's been a couple people in and out. Nobody's left any comments in the comment section, though. They could have left their predictions, too, but neither here nor there. So let me think. Anything noteworthy to bring up from we were just on here a week ago for the AEW prediction show?
I have a few things to say, but I'm gonna leave it alone. First
go
of
ahead.
all, to my buddy Alex, go fuck yourself. Just saying, because he went to Blood and Guts and he actually got to meet Jake Cargill. Just saying, go fuck yourself. I hate you. But anyway, other than that, he's cool though. Yeah, my friend got to meet Jay Cargill and Sammy Guevara, and
Nice.
he got to meet all of them. So that's pretty cool. But other than noteworthy, other than the MJF thing with him going to Grimm's toy shop, not really.
I mean, it was an interesting blood and guts match, and got Claudio Castagnoli, of course, being Bryan Danielson's surprise opponent for Zack Sabre Jr. and replacement in the blood and guts, and Claudio wins the match. So,
and apparently there were some actual injuries during the match too.
Yeah, I did hear that. Santana's down with a leg injury of some sort. Don't know how long.
And, there was some good storytelling too.
There was.
It was basically the storytelling that they were telling was with Claudio stealing Eddie Kingston's moment.
Yep. It'll lead to a match between Claudio and Eddie, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah, they're definitely going to, because him stealing that moment like that.
That's gonna eat at Eddie.
Yeah, it's gonna eat at him. He doesn't like that.
Nope. Eddie seemed to have hurt his back at some point in that match too. So.
Yeah, he did. I saw him. I saw him mouthing it to Claudio. He said he hurt himself, but he's all right.
Yeah. He didn't think he was going to be able to get back up, and then they helped him up. So.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be interesting to see how they go from here with Jon Moxley as the interim AEW World Champion. This upcoming week on Dynamite, he defends it against Brody King in a unique battle royal on Rampage. So we'll see where they go with Mox as interim champion until CM Punk comes back anyway. I think Mox will probably hold it until Punk comes back, and then it'll be Mox versus Punk. But we'll shall see.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be okay with Moxley beating Punk.
Well, who's to say Moxley's beating Punk, though?
Yeah. We might have Punk beat Moxley, too. Who knows?
Hard to say.
But, yeah.
All right.
I already went on a tangent about that. I'm going to leave that alone, though. I already gave my thoughts about that.
Yeah. It is interesting that they only got the 6 matches. There's nothing scheduled for the kickoff show currently, which pretty much means there probably won't be a kickoff match.
I'll be getting snacks and stuff ready for that.
Yeah. So we'll see how those 6 matches go. I'm sure this show will be just around 3 hours, I'd imagine, with only 6 matches. So
I think they're going to add the New Day versus the Viking Raiders to it.
Maybe. I'm not sure about that, though.
I don't think they quite built it yet, like all the way. It's still kind of building, but I think it's they're either saving it for SummerSlam or they're gonna do it here.
Could be. We shall see.
Dang, dropped my dang crackers and everything else.
Shame on you. Food abuse. No. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the WWE news we got. Cena returned, got his flowers, so as to speak, thanked everybody. Kind of made it thank you to everybody else and not a thank you to him, even though it's his 20-year anniversary.
Happy birthday to Bret the Hitman Hart. Today is his birthday.
Yes, definitely happy birthday to the Hitman.
Turned 65 today.
Nice. Yeah, and that. We'll see how things go from here. Should be an interesting Money in the Bank anyway, to see who ends up with what. So, good place to stop this. We're almost at an hour, a little less than. Go ahead with any plugs that you want to plug. I'm sure you plugged the same thing as last week, but that's fine.
Yep, my Twitter.
Give me 1 second. Those things don't like to pause when you push for them to. There we go.
Yeah, been there, done that. I remember I've done that many times on the stream. I've done that many times. Of course, my Twitch channel, as usual. I don't do YouTube anymore. I basically quit. So.
I thought you were going to have a new YouTube channel coming out. That's what you said at one point.
Oh, I do. I do. I have. It's literally. I know. Didn't your mother ever tell you not to talk with your mouth full? Well,
yeah.
I'm talking on YouTube. But anyway. But yeah, I do. It's my speedrunning channel. I just literally just take my VODs and stuff of all my speedruns that I've done on my channel and just put it there.
Nice.
But mainly twitch.tv/BustaBoy. I go live every day. I'm actually doing a speed run of Shredder's Revenge, so I'm trying to get on those leaderboards.
Nice. Well, at least you got something going on. I got nothing.
I always got something going on, man. That's the story of my freaking life.
Right?
What isn't going on?
Exactly. Once I don't know, what's the politically correct way to put it? YouTube wrestling community instead of backyard nowadays, I guess. Once they get up and moving again and we get some new content, then we'll get some people back on this show, hopefully. And I mean, you got at least 2 or 3 companies that need to get airing stuff, that have stuff available to air, and then we can actually have review shows or prediction shows or whatever.
Actually, I recently got into it with the YWC, so me and the YWC are not on speaking terms right now.
Oh, really?
The CAW community, to be exact.
Oh, CAW community. Okay.
Because I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna be quiet.
Oh man, you're gonna leave it at that?
It's just the toxicity and the fake people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they take that shit way too serious. Like y'all are like, no, I'm gonna be quiet. Be quiet. I'm gonna save it for my podcast. I'm gonna save it. I'm getting my own podcast, and I may actually have to bring it back for one more episode. Back in the day, I used to have a podcast called the Shoot the Shit Podcast.
Right.
And I might have to bring it back so I can comment on the CAW community just a little bit, just to add a little sting for when I leave. A little something to remember me by.
That's always good.
There was a reason why I was the most hated in the CAW community, because I didn't take no shit from nobody.
Well, I'm into that.
I can be a nice guy, but I can be a jerk too. I can be an asshole
Right.
sometimes.
When needed.
I mean, can't we all though? Let's be honest.
Yeah. So I guess the other thing I'll plug is that we got SummerSlam coming up in 4 weeks. So the next prediction show on here will be just before SummerSlam, because July 30th, right? Yeah, 28th. Yeah, 30th is SummerSlam from Nashville, Tennessee. So we'll look to do a prediction show either the day of or the day before, night before, one or the other. I kind of like doing the day of when they have the events on Saturdays, because you never know what they might add on a SmackDown Friday night. So, but we shall see. It always depends on my work schedule as well, and other people's. Be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I got nobody lined up. I've talked to a few people. They just haven't fully responded on specific dates or anything. So nothing else to go from there. So for that, this has been Money in the Bank prediction show for 2022. Buster Boy, thank you for being on the show. That's where you say, oh, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry, I was reading. Sorry, my bad. I was reading something. I wasn't paying attention. My bad. I saw something about Savage Garden, so I was reading about it.
I got you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, though, for real. That was always cool.
I had to
always
throw it out
fun.
there for a little laugh.
I'm really loving using my TV as a monitor, man. It's awesome.
I bet. That bigger screen helps out.
Yeah, and then my dumb self can get sidetracked in the middle of recording. Yeah.
Wait, we're live, pal. All right. But for that, yeah, that's Bust Boy. I'm Tony. We're out of here. Take it out.